Yeah, we were having a conversation upstairs before about the fee and stuff like that. Now, I think it's in Liverpool's best interest to keep it at £12 million, and I think it's in Liverpool's best interest to keep it undisclosed. And the reason that I think that that's actually the most important thing for Liverpool Football Club is you tell people that it's 20 million when you're about to try and go and sign a replacement. That's not a good fucking thing.
That's a good point.
So 12 million and undisclosed is fine for Liverpool, and it is still 12 million for the 33-year-old. So what? But at least you haven't got 20.
I think that's really interesting because and it's not a way I considered it, because my point was I was thinking it from the PR spin of you've been telling everyone you want 20 to 30, you've then accepted 12. That looks a bit like you've been bullied in the transfer market, but you're right. Right now, you could Liverpool. I'm firmly of this belief, by the way. I don't think that Liverpool have got many bushels of cash stored away and they're just like, they're having a laugh with everyone. I do think they lean into this notion they don't have money to their benefit, by the way. They are nowhere near the paupers that people think they are, and they're nowhere near the paupers that they are happy to have that propagated among them, because that does help you be smart and does help you be canny. Honestly, we said it before. What have we all said in the face of this Saudi Arabia stuff? Rinse them, milk them, because we can see that there's loads of money there. So why wouldn't you try and grab as much of that money as possible? Liverpool don't want to be in that situation. There are some clubs for whom it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter to Manchester City because, yes, they'll want to keep headline figures down because they don't want to pop up with the parapet too much. But what they'll do...
They did a great job of that.
No, but ultimately they've fucked that off, haven't they? But they haven't at the same time, because Erling Haaland still only cost £40 million. Of
course he did, yeah.
And in reality, half of the fee went to his dad, and others went to agents.
£50 million went away from the football.
And that's it, is that there's some clubs for whom it doesn't really matter. It's all about keeping up appearances in terms of making sure that people don't look like they're cheating. Liverpool's is they don't want to be caught out and thinking that they have got loads of money, which they haven't. But yeah, they need to be shrewd operators. So that's a really interesting balance. I had not considered your side on that at all. That's one where give it a couple of weeks, get your replacements in, and that's when it starts to you feed out.
It's actually 25.
Well, yeah, but that because from my personal perspective, to go back to like the PR perspective of it, I think 12 million's a bad look. But if you can say, because they're talking, it's £12 million plus add-ons, 12 million rising. If you tell me that it was 12 million and it's 6 million in add-ons over the course of his contract, then you're looking at closer to 18 million. And I'm going, 18 million feels a bit more like it.
Palatable.
Yeah, palatable's the word. I don't think, I still would contend that £20 million was not enough to buy a replacement for Jordan Henderson. You can fill his place in the squad, and that is to say a guy who's effectively your 13th, 14th, between 12th and 15th man any given week. You can go and get someone to do that, but you don't get to do it. I don't get to do it as well as Jordan Henderson, because what you're losing is the integration, the leadership, the experience, all those kind of things. It's
and the variety of positions that he can play.
It's like I've been thinking about when we got rid of Sami Hyypiä, and he wanted more game time. We couldn't guarantee him game time, so we let him go. And then we had an injury crisis, and we started Daniel Ayala, started centre half, and started the season, and we're rubbish. We bought Sotiris Kyrgiakos because we wanted an old head defender, and effectively what we did was we bought a worse Sami Hyypiä, a much worse Sami Hyypiä, than if we just kept him.
And the other side of that is, remember what happened with Carragher at the back end of his career? He looked like he'd gone, and then he came back that last season, and we were like, why is he retiring?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Sometimes they just have that in them where it's just one more ride, isn't it?
Hyypiä was a perfect example of that. We felt he was on the slide for a number of years, but again, the best players gain a yard in the heads when they lose them in the legs. And Jordan Henderson was getting to that stage of his career. It's been pointed out his injury issues. His availability the last 2 seasons has been exceptional. Now that could be again, Liverpool will have calculated all of this, by the way. I think the idea that they're thick and they don't know what they're doing is just stupid to even consider that for me. But this is my counterpoint on the Henderson Fabinho stuff. As much as I think it's a bit stupid to let them go when you've not got the replacement in yet, and you don't really, the market doesn't look very favourable towards Liverpool to be looking at the defensive midfielder market at the moment. But there is a possibility that someone's just going, it would have been a gamble to keep these a little bit longer. It was probably a calculated gamble, but neither of them, it was very likely that both of them or one of them would have a severe breakdown this season, given how much they've been run. I choose to believe that.
I think the other thing as well to consider from Jordan's point of view, again, sticking to the football side of things, I think it's a big deal that it's a year longer on his contract.
Yep.
Because if you run down your contract at Liverpool, which is 2 years, on the money that he's earning, great money, of course, absolutely life-changing for 99% of the population in the UK, money, but having 3 years at 4 times the amount of money is huge.
Well, we haven't said this yet, have we? I don't think that it's not 700 grand a week, it's being reported as.
Yeah, Dave Lynch is reporting for This Is Anfield that it's actually 350 grand a week take home. Yeah. Essentially, which when you look at his roughly £190,000 a week, top earners in the UK, let's just say for ease of maths, 50% tax. So he's taken home 95,000 or whatever it is. He's basically, nearly quadrupling that.
Yeah, it's the difference between 5.2 million a year and 18.2 million, give or take, depending on how exact the figures are. And look, £5 million a year to any of us would be like, fuck me, it's more money than we'll ever see in our entire lives, let alone in 1 year of it. But, getting close to 20 million quid.
But also extrapolate that over the course of the contract, it's £10 million to close on £60 million.
Yeah.
It's 2 years' work to 3 years' work. And what type of a contract is Jordan going to be getting after 2 years at Liverpool if his numbers and minutes were decreasing this season and to a point where he didn't actually feel that he was comfortable with it? You could guarantee next season they'd be decreased even more. Yeah. So £60 million contract, give or take, £10 million contract.
I was speculating yesterday because there was rumours that there was going to be a move for Luis Diaz. And I think that's nonsense. But the only world where that would happen is if Liverpool, again, have seen something in Diaz and they've gone, maybe it's the injury, and they've gone, right, okay, here's a chance for us to kind of make our money back and go and spin again in the market on him. And again, I don't think that will happen, but that's the only logical way I could follow. But thinking it from a Saudi perspective, and maybe Jordan Henderson's going to be far more privy to the plans of that league than we will be. He'll have been given an insight. He'll be getting the spiel that Gerrard got, that convinced him. And it's not just, here's loads of money. There'll be more to it than that. Ronaldo's clearly been sold on the project of what the Saudi
He's already out there talking about how the MLS is shit because Messi's in the MLS and how everyone's going to Saudi Arabia because of Cristiano Ronaldo and fucking all this. It might be because Cristiano Ronaldo went, or it might be because they're offering ridiculous money to everybody.
But the project side of things is, I think it's interesting. And we'll see what happens here, because I think our logic follows is, I get what they're doing. They're bringing these old stars in to raise the profile, but also to raise the general level of football and the level of professionalism in the training environment and all that kind of stuff. To get pros to come in and say, actually, this is what you need to have because this is what we're accustomed to, and that'll help move the league on. But I think it'll do that, and then what happens? That raises the profile, and then maybe in a couple of years you're getting towards a world where you're getting some more stars. So maybe next summer they bid for Salah. And he's in his 30s, but he's still playing right at the peak of his powers, and he's one of the best on the planet. And that would be a huge move. But you'd still be able to go, he's still a guy in his 30s. They're not getting Mbappe, are they? But the Diaz stuff is interesting for me because it does make me wonder whether they're almost ahead of schedule. Because if you can get Jordan Henderson and you can get Riyad Mahrez and you can get, less so Benzema and Ronaldo, but it's actually the other little selection of footballers who, let's be honest, weren't out of contract and could have played another couple of years in Champions League or top level European football. Whether they've gone, actually, this was much easier than we thought it was going to be. Should we go and see who we can get in that? What prime age footballers can we get now? And that'll be interesting to see now what follows on with that. Is there a world where they now shift attention to trying to steal some, try to buy some,
This is a play for football. This isn't a play for just the Saudi league. I've been saying it a few weeks now. If you just have to look at what Live Golf went through and what the PGA Tour have had to do with Live Golf and how the head of Live Golf is now the head of the overall World Tour. It's not the PGA Tour's guy that's in charge. It's the Live Golf. It's the Saudi Arabian side of things that are now running it. Because once you get all these players over there, they're not in the UEFA competitions. So there's going to be some kind of in there where these players come back to the fore of, I want to say European football, but some kind of competition where everybody, the best of the best, play each other. And they've got the money that can compete over the next 10 generations of people if they want to. This isn't just about the Saudi Arabia League going from the 73rd best league in the country, or it's either 72nd or 73rd, I read it in an Athletic article, to the number one league in the world. This is about football and where it's being played and where the money comes and goes. So this is a play for football, man, and this is just the beginning of it. And it won't surprise me if they start going for those types of players, because they did it in the golf.
Because that's the thing, I don't think you can convince Luis Diaz to go and be the first player in a Saudi Arabian club. But if you're telling him now, come and sign for, let's say, Al Hilal, I've got a couple of players mixed up in here, but whatever, as an example, well, you're going to be playing with Karim Benzema and N'Golo Kante, and you're going to be playing whatever, or you're going to be playing with Fabinho, Kante, or you're going to play with Roberto Firmino. If there's like all of a sudden there's 4 really good footballers there, well, that's more enticing to that mid-tier, or mid-age sort of footballer all of a sudden, because the project's real now. The Ronaldo and Firmino and Henderson are the due diligence that this other generation kind of requires. So you're right, that's not going to go anywhere. And the revamped Club World Cup is going to play a huge part in this, I think, because obviously you're already seeing Middle Eastern clubs are involved in those competitions. That being the push for being the next Super Comp will be very, very interesting.